Hello, everyone. You're listening to Those Are the Girls with Mallory and Friends. I'm Mallory,
I'm Victoria.
and we are changing culture and bringing back traditional values. So today is episode 100.
Woo,
Woo!
woo. Celebrate good
Wait,
times. Come
let me see
on.
if I can do keep singing, keep singing. What's
Oh
a
God,
song?
I don't think they
Actually,
want me to keep singing. Let's celebrate
okay,
good
okay,
times.
okay. Keep
Come
going.
on.
Keep
I don't know really, though, because my sister says I'm tone deaf and I really should never sing in public.
I've
But
been told stuff like that too.
you know, I don't care. Like I'm just gonna sing.
Same. Like I know I can't sing and I embrace that, but I keep singing. And I'm okay with that. Okay,
Celebrate.
okay.
Okay,
Let's get rid of the ad. Okay, 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 okay.
there
All
we
right.
go. Woo!
Woo! I should have had this queued up already.
Woo!
Episode 100.
All right, this
Also,
time I'm gonna.
I didn't realize.
It's a very long. There we go.
Here we
This
go.
time, come on.
Woo! And guys, the name of the band is Cool in the Gang.
Come on.
Okay. Yay! So episode 100, and it's also our 1 year anniversary. I cannot believe this thing has been going on for a year and 100
What's
episodes.
the actual year? Like the
August.
actual date, not the year.
Oh, I was like
2021.
It's August 24th.
Woo!
Yeah, so that's when this will be up, and you'll be listening to it, and hopefully you'll be listening to it after.
If you haven't turned it off after my singing, you'll be listening to it.
Yes, thank you. You're singing honestly like make a joyful noise is what the Bible says.
Can I tell you, I took singing lessons as a kid.
Did you really?
Yeah,
That's
and did
funny.
no good for me. Like I don't know what my parents were thinking.
I was in choir in high school, and I did the
You were like the acapella person.
No. Okay, so the altos never got to sing anything fun. So what's that song? When you try your best, but you don't. Okay, for whatever reason, we sung that in my Christian school's high school choir. And there's a look at your face. And there's a part where the sopranos sing all the fun stuff, and then all the altos are like ba-da-da-da, 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 ba-da-da. And I remember it was my senior year, and I told my friend in the car, I was like, I'm gonna sing the alto part. The soprano part. She's like, you can't. We're altos. I was like, no, I'm tired of this. We've never seen the fun stuff. She's like, you can't. And then I chickened out and I just sung the ba-da-da-da, 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 ba-da-da-da.
See, like I wanted to, so I took voice lessons when I was like first grade, second grade.
Oh, okay. That was like really young.
Yeah.
I'm only thinking like 6th grade, so you can be on Disney Channel.
Yeah, and I like did it. I sang in elementary school. Like I like sang with like my 5th grade class at like the local baseball, like minor league teams, like baseball game. Like my parents, like this is how like my parents are. They're very much of like you can do anything you try, but then doesn't tell me until later in life I can't sing.
My parents,
I appreciate that because I think that's why I was like a STEM major, because I was like I can do anything I want to do, but they should have told me earlier in life that I could not sing.
Yeah, my parents are the exact same way. So this is too old. I think I was like 12 when I stopped saying I was going to be a princess when I grow up. And like, that's too old. And
heck, like Kate Middleton did.
And technically so did what's her face from
Meghan Markle, Grace of Monaco.
Fair,
like but people can be princesses, just not like
it's not a career, right?
Well, no. Kate Middleton's made a career.
That's fair. But realistically, little black girl from Charlotte, North Carolina, that only does church things at age 12 should not be saying that she wants to be a princess. Part of the problem is like my parents like were like fostering that, and like I remember it wasn't even not too long ago I said something about like I was like, I think I told my dad, I was like, why did y'all let me say be a princess for so long? Like, I'm pretty sure people were laughing at me. And my dad was like, you can still be one. And I was like, okay, this isn't healthy. This is not why are you? But yeah, they've definitely have always been you can literally do anything you want to do. Anything, no matter how ridiculous and outrageous. And half of me is like, that's probably why I literally do whatever I want to do. Another half of me is like, I feel like I should have some restraint. I don't, but I feel like I should.
I mean, like, and I think like both her parents, like, they were very strict when it came to like television and like stuff like around the house. But the one thing that I think I'm noticing is both our parents were like, they were strict, but they were not restrictive on what we could and could not do.
Very fair. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that is a very good point. Like my parents have definitely always been, I mean, now that I've gotten older, I can tell they definitely thought I was going to go a specific direction. But little do they know this will be better. And when I buy them a house in Piper Glen, no one's going to be saying anything. Anyway,
I will say my parents didn't necessarily, they didn't necessarily have a direction for me. I think like when I want to do the PhD in economics, they're like, oh yeah, go for it. Like, I think as long as I figured out how to pay for stuff, like they didn't really care what I was doing. But I think like deep down, like my dad always knew that like international business was going to be what I settled in. And that's pretty much what I'm doing.
Like my parents, for example, not even like, and this is, pray for my money management skills. I'll just leave it at that. But my parents have very much been like, for example, when I wanted to go to Oman, not necessarily, I'll say this, my mom more so than my dad, but like when I wanted to go to Oman and it was pretty expensive and like we were trying to figure it out, my mom was like, oh, just sign up. Like that's what you want to do, just sign up. And she's very much one of those people, and then we'll figure it out. And we did eventually figure it out. But my dad is definitely like I
will say my parents are much like, instead of like they weren't like sign up, they were like, okay, like how are you gonna pay for it? But I always knew how I was gonna pay for it.
My mom was like, oh cool, all right, sign up. Oh, are you gonna bring me back something? Like, doesn't care about the pay. And then my dad's kind of like, wait a minute, why would you go, blah, blah, blah. My dad's the one who asked me all the questions. My mom's like, oh, that sounds like a great opportunity. You're gonna need this for school. Oh, da, da, da. And I think that's where I get mine from. Like, I'm very I mean, this from stuff I've even thought of this. I kind of am just like let's do this. Okay, but what about, who cares? Let's just do this.
Yeah, like we were talking about doing something. I'm like, all right, well, what are the pros and cons? What's going to be the margins of it? Like, definitely, like, Mal's the idea person. I'm like, all right, let's talk about business side. Like, how are we paying for this?
Yeah, no, and to that point, when I was texting, I was like, I didn't even really think of the pros and cons. I was like, well, I think it'll just be better. I'm just going to do this. And I was like, no, I should discuss it because I can't just do something. Yeah.
But I will say, I don't know, like, I guess, because like when I did my internship up in DC, my parents were like for it, but I think also like we had like, I didn't have to worry about, it was DC, so it wasn't like going to Oman.
Right.
But I also was like, I'll get funding from school. Like, I'll find a way to get this paid for.
And I feel like another thing, they probably didn't say that, but they would have helped you figure it out because it was something school related.
Yeah. And I will say, like, my situation is a little different because, like, I had a scholarship for undergrad. So, like, the money they had originally saved away from my college wasn't being used.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So that's why they never, like, thought twice. Because, like, my summer school wasn't paid for.
Yeah.
But I like asked to take summer school classes and they were all for it. Like they had no issues with me doing it.
So they use your fund from college?
Yeah, because like if it's like a college fund, then that's what's only for. Like you can't pull the money out.
We don't. I didn't have one. I don't know anything about that. That's one of the things that like I want to. Like, that's generational wealth. Mm-hmm. That's how you get ahead. That's how
I wonder if it can be transferred to like my kids.
Because you didn't use all of it, or
no? But I do say, like, I will say, like, the stuff that work won't cover with my MBA because there's like a couple thousand. I think like it would come out of that fund, is my understanding.
Yeah, I wonder if that you could too. And once again, that goes to generational wealth. I would love to do an episode on that, like talk about.
Well, I guess I don't know if we technically have generational wealth. Not like to the extent like multi-billionaires do,
right?
But I mean, my family, like we've had a farm out in Caswell County that's been in my family since the 1800s. Like we came,
Wow.
I don't think we've ever talked. My family came over in the 1700s, received King's granted land. They were Quakers. They came through. William Penn helped them come over. They settled like in the Ashboro area before moving up to Caswell County and were abolitionists.
Wait, at Caswell County, is that
It's like,
would that be in the district of
no.
Okay, because that sounds like one of the ones in there. Okay.
No.
Okay.
It's I mean Mark Walker used to represent it.
Oh,
but
okay. I
it's
know,
like
yeah.
north of Alamance County, but to the right of Rockingham County.
Okay.
So it's like right there on the border of North Carolina, Virginia.
Okay.
But my family they were abolitionists, they were Quakers, and they would
that's cool.
And so they started the Republican Party in Caswell County.
Wow. You're Republican royalty.
I know.
Well, wow. We had a farm Sebastian lucked out.
I know. But we've had a farm up there that's been like passed down through like generations that will eventually go to us.
Wow. So wait.
But it's not like it brings in like millions of dollars.
Okay. So wait. So when you say to us, just you and your sister, or you, your sister, your cousins, and their cousins, and their
well, my dad's an only child.
Okay.
And the farm right now, it's in my dad's name and his uncle, so my pawpaw's brother. Okay. My pawpaw's brother has one son who doesn't have any kids.
Okay. So wait. So why isn't it in his name? Oh, because he doesn't have any kids.
He doesn't have any kids.
Okay.
So it could potentially, right now it's like split 50-50. I don't think we've worked in an agreement.
Oh, it's split 50-50. So then when your dad is
1,000 acres.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it just sits there?
No. We like lease it out to farmers, timber on it. I want to do more, honestly, up there. Like, I really want to create like a wildflower area for photographers to come take pictures.
Wow.
Like a sunflower field, wildflower field.
You know what you could also do? And this is just
and it used to be for tobacco. Like that's where all the money was made. But now it's like
tobacco was big in North Carolina.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
My granddaddy lived in Wilson.
Yeah.
Wilson. Yeah. And like
that's on the way to Greenville.
Yeah, we would pass tobacco. Yeah.
I mean, it's still big down east. I mean, there's still so much farming down east. Like,
yeah.
I think agriculture is still like our number one industry in North Carolina.
I think so too.
I think it's number one, if not like two.
Which is
so we
good-ish.
We are the second largest pig farming.
Really? I didn't know that. My granddaddy had pigs, but I think
there are more pigs in North Carolina than humans.
Really? I did not know that.
So we have a lot of like the Smithfield plants or Smithfield farms are down east. So like with the chicken, oh god, what is it called? Tyson.
Yeah, I know we have
Tyson farms are down east. I would drive like past, like going to ECU. I'd drive past farm after farm after farm.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like I've flown into like the Greenville airport, and it's like literally like all pitch black, and then you see light, and that's just Greenville.
That's funny. Yeah, that's wow. Well, that's really cool about your family. That is one thing that like half of me is like, I am kind of sort of curious because, if we had a farm or money, that'd be interesting. But the other half of me is kind of like I don't like what if I were to do an ancestry, like what will that change, I guess?
Yeah, I mean,
unless we have money or something. Like I hate to say that, like I don't make it seem like, oh, Melanie loves money, and I don't love money.
No, so you needed to survive.
Yeah.
I will say, and this is something like part of the book club we're gonna do before we were yours. Such a good book. Hint. And I would recommend everyone, if you're gonna be interested in do the book club with us, either like get it through the library or find it on Amazon or something, because we'll probably review that at the end of September, I believe.
Yeah.
But we'll get into the storyline, but reading that book, one thing I realized was everyone deserves to know where they came from.
Oh.
It was very like, and you'll understand it once you read the book.
Okay. Because like I like hearing the stories of like, yeah, my family came over on the Mayflower and my great grandfather's name is etched in this thing. Like I like hearing other people's stories, but like I literally don't know anything like that.
Regardless how dark your history could be.
That's the other thing too. I feel like it's not going to be.
I think everyone.
I don't think we have any. You know.
I think everyone deserves to know where they came from, regardless of. Regardless.
Yeah.
Like everyone deserves to know. I mean, that's part of your identity. Everyone deserves to understand their identity, who they came from.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, anywho, we got on a tangent.
We did.
This episode.
Yeah. Well, and it's our 100th, and it's really good that we're keeping it like light and is it? Yeah, I guess it's still light, and fluffy. And it's just us chatting.
Yeah. I do want to ask you a few questions with it being our 100.
Okay.
So, the day you thought of this podcast, do you remember it?
I remember. Okay.
And how did it go?
Okay. So I remember this thing called Call Her Daddy. And I remember all the drama that was happening.
Oh my God. I know what you're talking about.
Yes. There was drama.
Okay. Well, and Sophia with the app.
Yes. Yeah. She was on our girls podcast. I don't know if you heard that one.
Which one? The Swing Confidential?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, which is very interesting. And then I heard her on, anyway, I'll get to that later.
She was on another one. I'm trying to remember what it was.
She was on No Jumper, which is like kind of a naughty podcast in the sense of like.
So.
Yeah, sorry.
So y'all know all the Call Her Daddy drama.
The Call Her Daddy drama was happening, and I was like, what is this? Like, I've heard of Call Her Daddy. Like, what is this? So I'm like doing some research, and like I try to listen to a couple episodes, and it's really naughty. Like, it's just kind of like my friend described it as ear porn. And I was like, okay.
It's not even like that. It's like naughtier than it's like teaching you.
Yeah. And I just remember thinking, like, this thing is so popular. And then I remember thinking, is there any like fun pop culture show? Not even pop culture. Is there any fun girly show that isn't like that? Because there's girls who like to not necessarily talk about sex, but like talk about other topics and like, you know, want to talk about Demi Lovato for a second, might want to talk about Kim Kardashian for a minute. They might want to talk about what's going on in politics, but like they don't want to end it with, and then if you like Trump, you're evil, you know, like there's so many other things. And I'm like, is there anything? I mean, Allie, but like she's just by herself, and like, you know, she kind of sort of covers all the topics. She'll talk about other stuff. She'll talk about like current events, but not really like just fun stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I don't think there is anything. And if there is, it's no offense to them, I just haven't heard of them, and it's not popular enough, at least for me to find them. And like, if I'm not being reached by them, I'm sure there's people in my atmosphere who are, or not atmosphere, my circle, who aren't being reached by them either. So then I said something in the Cute Servitors Facebook group about like, oh, we need to have something or like that, something or another. And I was going back and forth over it. And I was also, this was the time I was interning with the RNC, and there was just a lot of things going on. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to do it. Like, if no one else is going to do it, I guess I'll just do it. And I think personally that, and at the time I had Make It Known with Mal, which I do want to start back up, by the way. I just don't have the time. But
why didn't you Make It Known with Mal? Why didn't you make this into your vision? Like, is that into your vision instead of those other girls?
Well, because Make It Known with Mal in my head was more of a Joe Rogan show. Like, what I would love, if anyone's listening, what I would love is to make it a radio show where people can call in and we just talk. Like the idea was just to talk about anything. Like I wanted to have any and everybody on. I wanted to have specifically people with small platforms on to give them a big platform. Because, you know, Joe Rogan typically gets like the big names. I wanted to get like the people who are doing similar, amazing, cool things. That's what I wanted for Making Known with Mal. And then, but those are the girls. I just wanted it to be like a fun, like, I don't want to keep saying pop culture, but like a fun girly like podcast where we just like girl out over stuff. We
can
like,
talk about what majority of girls are talking about, but without the sex and without the liberalism.
Exactly. Like, that is the whole purpose of those other girls, is to talk about those fun topics, and you don't have to like fast forward, or you don't have to like roll your eyes because here's another thing about how Trump is evil, especially during that time. Here's another thing about how Trump is evil. Everybody that voted for Trump is evil. And, you know, you can have your opinions. And honestly, if people like that stuff, that's between them and God. Not judging. That's just something I didn't want to hear. Like, I just didn't want to be listening to that. Even like some of the true crime podcasts I listen to, there's these two girls, one of them is like super anti-conservative, anti-God. Like every time it's something God, like somebody was religious, they always make a comment about how like religion is X, Y, and Z. And like personally, I don't really want to hear that. Like that's their belief. And like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't stopped listening to it because other than that, it's really a podcast.
Yeah.
But like some people just want to not listen to that. That's what I wanted those other girls to be. And like, that's why I want us in this walking into this new, I was gonna say season, but like walking into this
new season. Like
I guess it is
100 we did a
season.
year.
So walking into this new season, I want us to be a little bit more focused on that stuff. I love the politics and I want us to continue to do politics because the reality is I want us to still talk about these things. I want everyone listening to want to get involved in their local politics. I want everyone to listening to be able to freely express their conservatism, but I also want to, because part of the thing is like culture, like we are in a fight for culture and I want us to be in the fight. So I want us to talk about, like, I want to do some more true crime episodes. In a Facebook group I'm in, the Conservative True Crime Facebook group, this other girl was saying how she wanted to do, she wished there was like less liberal true crime. And I was like, girl, let's have a chat. We can do a couple episodes here possibly. And like, I want us to do stuff like that. I want us to do more, like, I'm not really into makeup, but like, you care more about makeup. Melanie cares more about makeup than I do. Like, I want us to do like a makeup something or I don't know, like I can, y'all are, that's more of y'all's wheelhouse.
Yeah. We want to create like you said, it is a culture, and like we want to give you guys a place to disconnect from the politics in media.
Yeah.
And just kind of, and even if it's a little politics, it's the politics you agree with, you believe in.
Right.
And
also, yeah.
And just be able to be like a normal girl.
Exactly. And to piggyback off of that, and with the whole politics thing, even if politics does come into it, and then even if we do have specifically political episodes, because eventually, or like occasionally we will have specifically political episodes, especially when the 2022 elections come up, because I do want to do an episode where we talk about, well, what is a representative? What is a senator? Why should we even care about the midterms? I do want to do episodes like that, but like, even if, you know, we talk about something that somehow politics and Christianity comes into it, it's because that's our worldview. And the reality is even the most atheist liberal person's podcast, you know, they're saying and making statements through their worldview. Our worldview is Christian conservative, so our statements will be from a Christian conservative worldview. So all that to say, that is why I wanted to create this, because I just felt like there wasn't anything. There was a vacuum. And I have like tons of ideas. You know, we need sponsors and Patreon, stuff like that, to get some of these ideas into fruition. But I have tons more ideas of like different things that we can do. And like the whole purpose is to add something else to the culture and to show like you don't have to be like boring people. I like talking theology, but we don't have to just talk about theology all the time. We can, and I keep saying Demi Lovato because y'all know how much I love that girl, or y'all know how much I love that them person, y'all know. So every time she acts out, it cuts me deep. But anyway, I keep using that person as an example, but like we can talk about those things. We can talk about what is something that just happened. We talked about it for like 5 seconds.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. TV shows too. I want to do some fun reviews. I did the Riverdale review thing, and I actually got a lot more like, oh, this was interesting than I thought I would.
Really?
I really just wanted to talk about it because
we were talking about The Bachelor.
Yeah, The Bachelor. I'm not a big fan of The Bachelor.
Neither am I. So you're not hearing
yeah.
You might. That would be interesting. The look of what's a conservative take on The Bachelor.
Well, I have a friend that loves it, and she was like, if you ever want a Bachelor reviewer, please come on. It. I don't get it either.
And no offense to anyone who watches it. I just can someone explain it to us? Like, I've never watched it. I will say, like, I've never sat down and watched it, but I don't think any of my friends really have either.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. All the girls our age, I feel like are just super into it. And I just
I feel like a lot of like the influencers I follow, they're all into it.
I'm yeah.
I just don't understand it. So if someone wants to explain it to me, like, I'll be down.
But my point is, these are all the things that I want us to be involved in, do more episodes in regards to. I also wanted to do like interviews of people who are female and who might not necessarily be political, but like they are aligned conservative and they are doing X, Y, and Z. Like a guest that we're going to have soon. She isn't technically political, but some of the stuff she does, she's a Christian and she's conservative, but the things that she does are like really cool. I'm super excited for this guest, you guys, when the person comes on. But yeah, so that's the purpose of those other girls. And you said, what was I thinking?
What was like the thoughts going on in your head? Like, how did it come up?
My first, okay, so like the thought process was someone needs to do this. I'll just do it. Like that's kind of how it, and like that's been a lot of things in my life where it's like I feel like someone needs to do something. No one's doing it. Okay, I'll do it. And then I also, so like I said, I had Make It Known with Mal. I really love podcasting. Like I really love talking to people. I love talking in general. I mean, I have the gift of gab, as some might say. So I just really wanted to do it. And I think it's needed. And I know it's needed also too, because we get messages from you guys almost, I was gonna say daily, but that'd be a lie, almost weekly. One day it'll be daily. We get messages almost weekly from you guys expressing how inspired you feel, or how like you feel seen, and it feels really great to have something like this. So I feel like it was needed. No one else was doing it, and I should do it. So then the other thing is I wanted it to be I don't want to say like competing with Call Her Daddy, because
it'd be an alternative
to Call Her Daddy. Part of the reason I don't want to say competing, because I don't want like any of her fans to come see it and then like, you know, we really aren't to that level yet, you know, so that'd be embarrassing. But I don't know though, because if she did try to like say something about us, it could get us some clout. But then I don't know, the hate might be too much, because she has a fan base. Like it's just one of them now. And I mean, so I follow along her career because honestly, like I'm trying to figure out what homegirl is doing so I can do it. Because I mean, so I'll listen to podcasts that she's on, or like people talking about her on different podcasts. Like I listened to, I don't remember the name of the podcast, it was another Barstool podcast, and they were talking about like what's happened, and like I'm trying to figure out, homegirl, she sounded like what was the deal? It was like $6 million for Spotify.
Huge.
And all she does is talk about sex. Like, and that's what some of the people were saying, how it's kind of like it's good. Like it's good that she, let's see here. Call her, I make it exclusive for the pod. I want to I'm sorry, it wasn't 6 million. Forgive me. $60 million deal. Yeah. 60 million.
Which is crazy, no what I could do the whole argument, like why her and her co-host split, was because like they like she was like, we deserve more, and the other girl was like, no, I'm just gonna sign, and then she like leaves and signs for something bigger.
Yeah. Well, I think there was a lot. It sounds as if they were no longer really friends anymore.
Yeah, I didn't
Sounds like
think they were.
the boy got in the way.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
My
it is
understanding, it seemed like the co-host is very jealous.
the one that's has the show now still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seemed like she was very, I guess, territorial.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, their show is about sescapades. So if you get in a relationship, how are you going to talk about your sescapades if you're not having sex with multiple people?
That's a good point.
So I think like that. So I think she was scared that the brand was going to get messed up because like at this point, and you know, the girl. Well, I don't know. Someone said that she does other things now. She does like new agey, brings new agey people on occasionally, but like the whole purpose of Call Her Daddy is to talk about sescapades. So homegirl, if she wants to keep her thing, she technically can't really get married or be in a relationship.
That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And I think that was one of the biggest things because I mean, she was on this guy, I think it's called No Jumper, his podcast, which is he's trash, like no offense, but anyway, he is anywho. So she was on his podcast and I was listening to it and she was saying she doesn't even really like sex like that. She likes to be monogamous, but she had to kind of like hype it up for go with the brand. Or she said something along those lines. Sophia with F, that girl, not the other girl. So like, I mean, but anyway, so my whole point being like, I wanted something to like compete with that almost. And obviously, you know, it's been a year and they were discovered. I mean, I think it was like after 3 episodes, Barstool bought them and paid them dollars. And it's been a year and we have not had anything like that. But I will say,
I think it's also difficult because there's no podcast network like that would take us in.
Very true. Because even like the Blaze, I feel like they already have Allie. I don't see them knocking on our door. And then, you know, Turning Point isn't a podcast network. The only people I would see like, oh, these young girls, blah, 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 will be Turning Point, but Turning Point doesn't have a podcast network. And now that I'm older and like,
surprised they don't.
Yeah, me too. But I feel like that's coming up next.
Like we are geared towards college students.
No, and they're coming up next, and they're probably going to do theirs. But also too, like what I have, you know, after doing my research or like even looking at that situation, I kind of want us to keep our IP. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Someone with $60 million comes talking to me. That'll be a really tough conversation with God. I'm not going to lie. I don't see myself turning that down. But, you know, I think, I'm not going to give a number because I don't really know. But ideally, I would like to keep the IP because I do want to be able to talk freely. I want to be able to be in charge of the brand. I want us to be able to say and do whatever we want to do. Because that was also another problem. So I was listening to Dave Portnoy. He was talking about the deal on his podcast, I think. And he was saying that like she wanted to stay with Barstool because she likes them. They treated her really well. But Spotify gave a deal like that. And he said that if Spotify was going to give you a deal, if we were going to give you as much as Spotify, if we want to match that, like right now, when she was with Barstool, she could come and go as she pleased. If she needed to skip a week, she could. Like she didn't have as many like restrictions. But he was saying that like if we're going to pay you $60 million, you're gonna have to meet some criteria. You're gonna have to it's gonna be a lot more restrictive, which just also makes you think like if you do give your IP to somebody, you will have to be like there are going to be some things you just can and cannot say. And I can't really imagine. Obviously, we couldn't join. I mean, I would love to. Honestly, like I would love for us to join like a Dear Media. That's Lawrence. I would love for us to join a Dear Media, but
I don't think
our topics they wouldn't take us.
Yeah,
I would, but the idea would be to be in that type of like that's what we want. Like I want to reach those girls, but which also too, the benefit of being with a podcast network would be their connections. I mean, we would skyrocket if Dear Media signed us, we would skyrocket, but they couldn't, because we talk about how abortion is evil. Yeah, we're too controversial. So all that to say, anybody with money that wants to invest in us, that will still let us do any and everything.
Well, let's just create our own podcast network.
Yes.
We'll just do it. If you guys want to do a podcast, let us know.
I mean, I'm totally
network. I've thought about it. Like, I've thought, like, I have like the name.
You have.
Yeah, I've talked to you about potential.
I think you should do it. The thing is, like, we would still be starting from scratch.
Yeah.
And like, I think that's the frustrating thing, starting from scratch. But honestly, Rome wasn't built in a day. And we miss when we, like, the I was watching a video, I forgot who it was, but like, Call Her Daddy was discovered after 3 episodes. Yeah. The reality is that's not normal. Like, no matter how much you can dream, you can believe, you can do it. That's just not normal. What is
like the Skinny Confidential up to? They're like 400, 500 episodes.
Right.
And it took them at least like 100 to get somewhere. But also, they also had Lauren's platform previously. She had built like a blog up from scratch. She said she didn't start making money until like 3 years in.
Exactly. So like, if we start off
and like so she already had like a previous platform where neither of us, and she has like a huge platform, like millions of followers.
Yeah.
And it already had like a huge platform like before that, like they started their podcast, and neither one of us had like a huge platform before starting not even this podcast. Yeah.
And I think the other thing is like, and I want to also emphasize, like, I don't really care about the money. I mean, I'm a human, so obviously $60 million. Yes,
you would love to be able to do this for a living.
Yeah, I would love for this to be like, it's not about the money.
But it's not going to stop us.
It's not. What I think is what I would love, the reason why I would like to be part of a podcast that like have more influence, have more clout, I guess, is because I want more people to hear it. I want there to be something, excuse me, sorry. I want there to be like, whenever you're discussing different topics, like I want there to be another voice. I just feel like all of these like popular, the Blonde Files, Skinny Confidential, the B Word Bible, those are great. Those are all Dear Media. Call Her Daddy, all of these other like fun, the Toast show that you like,
the Morning Toast. But I will say, the Morning Toast and Skinny Confidential, I'm convinced are conservatives.
I think so too. But here's the thing: they're not as like.
But they're not vocal about it. They won't say I'm a Republican.
Also, we only think that because they just don't have the extreme views on certain things.
But I will say the way they talk too.
You think so? I think
because Lauren's husband, Michael Bostic, has made a post on his social media because I'm gonna get like crap for this, but this is what I believe in, their capitalistic views.
But I also feel
like I don't see, you can't be an entrepreneur and like anti-capitalism. Like, so being an entrepreneur, you have to have a free market.
I agree. I will say though, like I'm not quite sure if anything else is conservative about them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think they're more like moderates, but they're gonna vote. I feel like they're gonna vote for someone that's gonna be best for the economy and for their business.
I think so. I agree.
And going back, like the Morning Toast, like they're Jewish, and they're proud Jewish, and their mom's actually like and they got canceled for this because their mom was like a top, I don't know if it's like top fundraiser, top aide. Like their mom has a connection with the Republican Party.
Oh, that's also interesting because usually Jewish people are liberal.
Which is funny because most of their beliefs are Republican.
And same with Black people. I actually went to an event that was like how can Jews and Black people work together because the conservatives, because we have a similar issue in our communities. But yeah.
But I think like, and they've said some like capitalistic ideals.
Yeah.
But also like the way they've talked about the I can't say it. Anti-Semitism. That's been going on right now, and especially from a lot of Democrats. that's what's made me believe that deep down they're Republicans.
Yeah.
Conservatives. Not necessarily Republicans, but conservatives.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they've talked a lot about like how like what's gone on in like New York City and how like I think it's de Blasio has like killed the city because they live in New York City and like they stayed during the pandemic. And
they stayed. Wow.
mm-hmm.
Do they
that's where
live
they
in
grew
their
up.
studio?
What?
Do they live in their studio? Is that
No.
in their apartment? So they go to their studio.
Yeah, so they have their own studio.
That's cool. Every time I follow them now, and every time I see that, I'm like, I pray like, God, this is goals. All this pink, it's so cute.
But they're like, I think deep down they're conservatives and like they're capitalists because like
I hope so.
I mean they've made their money because of the free market. Yeah. Because of capitalism.
I hope so. Like I'm not like,
and I will say too, they have not been the one that has like and this is the other reason why I think, because neither them nor the Skinny Confidential has posted pictures of them getting the vaccine. If you think about it. Now, I think the Morning Toast girls have gotten it because, and they look at it as, look, like if you have the vaccine, then what's the deal with the mask?
Yeah.
Like you should be living your life. Yeah, they said you should be living your life.
Yeah. A lot of, even my liberal friends have been saying like, okay, because, you know, Charlotte just got a mask mandate again. And even some of my liberal friends are like, okay, this is, why are we doing, we literally just got the vaccine to not do this.
Yeah, and they're very much like, and they're like traveling and doing all this stuff. They're like, look, like we have the vaccine. Like you said, this is supposed to protect us.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna live our life.
Yeah. Fascinating.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, and they're like this, and they're upset about like having like stuff starting to shut down again. They're like, why are we doing this? There's no reason to do this.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like I said, I'm pro. Like, I hope they are. I really do.
Yeah, I think they are based on how they post.
I just want us to be in the same fight, I guess is what I'm trying to say. That's why it is really beneficial if everybody comments, rates, reviews, subscribes, tell your friends and share. And I mean, I'm a pretty confident person, I'll admit that. And like, I'm sure I ramble a lot, so I'm working on that. But I really do think we have a good thing. Like, I do think our episodes are good. I think that our topics are good. I think we're interesting people. I mean, I have interesting been talking all night. Sorry about that. I have interesting hot takes. I think I'm kind of funny. Like, we definitely can be in the same realm. It's just we need to get more people. And the reason why I want us to be in the same realm isn't for money, isn't for my own personal gain. It's because in these conversations, I want there to be another idea. If we're going to change culture, we need to be in the culture. Yeah. And that's why, like, one thing that I want to work on and like see how to not be is I don't want to be a conservative. Well, I'm not even a conservative influencer. Sorry. I was in the middle of a thought and then I just started changing. I don't want to be known as a conservative influencer. And I'm not, I don't have like 10,000 followers or anything, so I wouldn't say I'm like a influencer, but I would say I'm probably a micro influencer.
But if you want to follow, her tag is
life as Malpow131. But I don't want to be known as a conservative influencer or micro influencer. I want to be known as like an influencer with a podcast that happens to be conservative.
Yeah.
But
we've talked about that because it's like nobody talks about like a liberal influencer as she's a liberal influencer. They go, she's a makeup influencer, or they're a conservative actor instead of he's an actor.
Like even when we were just talking about call her daddy, Alex, we didn't go the liberal Alex, we went the sex positive Alex. Like that's what I want. That happens to be liberal. That's what I want us to be more of. And that's why I do want us to get into some other topics, to continue to do more of those topics, to continue to have those different guests. I would like us, like I said, to have guests. I mean, like not necessarily Lauren, because once again, I think we'd just be too controversial, but someone maybe who isn't afraid of the controversy.
Yeah, I would say
you think she would come on?
Oh no.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think like she's the type. I don't know though, because she's the type that's like, I don't care what like you think of me.
she will care when someone goes, you support these girls, they're against healthcare. Sponsor.
Well, I will say when she says something, she doesn't care, but she's very much nurturing her community. So I don't think she'd do anything that her
would anger them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I understand. Like, she's so
community
focused.
Yeah.
Like, her platform is not about her, it's about her community.
Yeah. And I totally get that. Like, I'm not mad at her.
Yeah.
I just
she would, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But
I would like it too.
Before we wrap up, what has been your favorite episode and why?
My favorite episode. Man, we've had a lot of really, really good episodes. We've had some really, really good guests. I really like, honestly, I really like our women-focused episodes. And I love the one we did with Mary Kate. I love the one we also did with Amanda talking about the Equality Act. And the one we did with Mary Kate when we talked about like femininity and our like bodies and things like that. I just really like talking about that. Another episode, like those are more topics I wanted to get more into. And I've said this before, and when everybody hold me accountable, I do really want to do a BBL episode talking about self-esteem as Christian women. Like, how do we have self-esteem, stuff like that. I saw a term that said to be, instead of body positive or body negative, to be body neutral. And I kind of like that idea, but I would love to talk to someone, have someone on the episode to talk about that, on the podcast talk about that. So if you know someone maybe in the medical field, I don't know, medical field, psychology field, I'd want to talk about, you know, being body, stuff like that. But yeah, I think those have been my favorite. I just really like a lot of our, so like my favorite episodes are, I like our guest episodes specifically though, because I feel like I'm learning. I do like a lot of our weekly recaps. And I like our weekly recaps because I like discussing topics and I like being able to get my feelings and thoughts out. And I like hearing your opinion on a lot of things because sometimes we think very differently. And I like hearing why you think what you think. So yeah, so like I like those. I do like guest episodes a lot though, just because I like learning. I'm not like the biggest like school fan. I think it's just because I'm being tested, but I like learning new things. I know you. I said we think differently. I know you do. But
who has been your favorite interview?
I think I keep thinking Mary Kate, but I really liked I keep thinking Mary Kate, and I feel like that's just because I just really like that topic.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of.
I will say for me, it's awful. I loved our human trafficking episode with Tracy Klein.
That was okay.
One was so like eye-opening.
Yeah.
And informative. Like, I was taking notes. My favorite one that like I'm listened to was your interview with Bob on what's going on with
Cuba. Oh, you
and that Bob? Was very informative. I'm
sorry. I thought of the other one. With Chris, when we talked about the conservative environmental solutions.
Yes. Oh my god, that was
for like 2 hours afterwards.
Yes. Oh my god.
That was a good one.
Another one, because I'm like scrolling through our episodes because I'm like,
me too.
Like, remember we've done so many. 100 is a lot.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
The Cuba one was really good. Weekly recaps, I feel like people find so interesting, is like our take on the world. Oh yes, our advice for boss babes in the office. I really like that one.
Yeah,
and that was kind of what we've learned. Olivia Shelter interview. about the
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
About like the
Mountain
what am I
City woman.
blanking? Mountain
Women of
City
Mountain
women.
City.
Yeah, women
Yeah.
of Mountain City. Thank you. And like
I
just
learned a
talking
lot.
about like poverty in America, which is like
Yeah.
crazy.
Another one I liked was the one we did with the two of us and Sebastian. I just
Which one?
Oh yeah, the about love, the love, Tinder,
Oh
and
yes,
snakes.
and we were talking about relationships.
Why were
Oh,
we
my
talking about
friend Caroline
snakes?
too, when we were talking about her about the Love is Not Tourism movement, and about how the COVID-19 regulations have affected couples who are international couples.
That one was
That
good.
one was
And that
crazy
was
informative.
one that like I didn't have any background on.
Yeah.
Um, I think just so you and Sebastian know, I'm pretty sure the one that you and Sebastian did about GameStop, Kobe Bryant, all that. Let me
Yeah.
look again. I'm pretty sure that's like our third most listened to.
Really?
Yeah.
That was like one of like our weekly like TCAPs, and I think
Yeah.
you were out of town, and so
Yeah.
me and him did it.
It's number 4. And Sebastian
Oh, that's
took my
crazy.
spot. And then number 5, which is proof. I know you don't like true crime, but I just want to let you know the reposted when we had to repost one time, the Shanann Watts one. That's number
Okay.
5. So I
Oh,
don't know.
Yolanda Robinson.
That was
That was a
really
good
yeah,
interview.
that was good. I love her. She's so sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and honestly, the one we did with Sarah was really good because I think she did a good job breaking down what everything was. And what I want us to do going forward is I would love for us to do another one of those and just do like a YouTube video, and
Mm-hmm.
we can have like YouTube resources. So like for people who, okay, what is your county GOP? What is your county convention? What is your state convention? What is it? Like I want us to have resources for you. And I thought that was a very, very good informative one.
Yeah.
And when we had Alex on, that was fun. Well, that was like me and the former co-host. Miss you, girl.
We should try to, and let's try to get Alex on because I really want to interview her.
Oh yeah, and honestly, I was gonna say a lot has changed, but a lot kind of has changed in both ours and Alex's life since then. Yeah, I'll reach out to her.
Our holiday specials were
Yeah,
fun.
those are informative.
And then what we could do, like the one post election on what you can do to get involved.
Yeah. And that was good to talk about. Like I really just want everybody to do something. Like you don't have to be the most involved. You don't have to do any and everything, but just do something.
But yeah, we've had a lot of good informative episodes. Definitely we'll be focusing on some interviews, our takes on life. Planning on getting my blog back up and going in the next couple months.
Ooh.
So that will be fun. I've learned a lot last year since I've done it. So
it'll be bigger and better.
It'll be bigger and better. I need to redo the website, to be honest. I actually just got a notification that my my payments due, so I need to make sure that gets paid.
Oh, for the
renewal. We also will be updating some merch. I have bought a Cricut machine and am playing around with how to use it. So
yes, we are also rebranding tomorrow. Well, the day you see this, you're going to see a different cover on everything, a different photo.
Yes.
And we just really, I think that this time apart from the podcast, we were able to like reimagine, rethink some things, and like get a little bit more focus on goals and what we want for you guys. And also too, like I just want us to continue to keep discussing and talking about ideas that you guys have. Like I want it to be a community. I don't want it to be a Mallory's thing. And I know that like those are the girls with Mallory and friends. It does seem like it's just like a Mallory thing. I really don't want it to be. And I know I have to work on that just because like Victoria said, I have idea. I will be sitting at work doing my work, typing, and I'll be like, oh my God, we should do this. And like that's just how my brain works.
I got like 6 text messages in a row today.
Yeah. And honestly, I used to not do that, but like I was like, let me just every time I have an idea,
just sends all her ideas to me, and it's I think that's like where you keep your notes. It's like, okay, Victoria's text messages.
Well, yes, and on Facebook, like if I send you an article that I find interesting, it's just because I'm like, okay, this is where I'll be able to grab it when it's time to do the weekly recap.
Yep. Well, I do the same thing back to you.
Yeah,
when I see something interesting.
Yeah, and it helps me. Texting you helps me just remember that I need to do stuff. So like I said, like I'm going to work on, like, we really want this to be a community. So join our Facebook group. I want us to do a little bit more talking and engaging in there. I know there's a bajillion Facebook groups, but
and we started a Patreon.
Yes, and we started a Patreon.
We haven't posted anything. We'll let you know when we do, and then you can subscribe.
Yes. We will figure all that out, and then in the Patreon, we will have, just so you know, there'll be a $5 level where if you're like, I like what you do, Mallory and Victoria and everyone else part of the team, I want to help. There'll be something like that. So like if you want to do that, that'd be nice. And then there'll be others. But anyway, so like we just really want to continue to do better, to bring you guys more content. We want to continue to be impactful. So if you guys enjoy this, if you enjoy the podcast, if you enjoy either one of us, if you're like, you know what, the culture need this. If you're like a tomboy, you're like, oh my God, there's so much pink, and like
I'm a tomboy.
Oh, you are? Okay. Yeah. I thought you were like in the middle more. You're more in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up a tomboy, but then like got older, and
I've been this way my whole life.
Yeah, I have. Like, I mean, I grew up playing golf, for crying out loud.
Oh, that, yeah.
Granted, I wore like hair ribbons and skirts, but
man, skirts.
I love a good skirt. It's like classy but comfortable.
Yeah. Oh, is that from a movie, or did you make that up?
Oh no, I made that up. I love a good skirt.
Oh, it's
classy. Like you can literally pair it. Like one of my friends paired a skirt this weekend with a retro tee, and it looked so cute on her.
Okay, next time you go golfing, you should take a picture of you golfing, and then you should say, I love a good skirt. It's
comfy.
Comfy. Stylish. And yeah, you should
like say I feel like I mean, the way like she did it, I'm like, why didn't I think of doing that? Like I've always done skirts like with golf shirts. I'm like, I could easily pair a really cute shirt with this, tie it up.
Yeah.
Really cute.
Yeah. But so if you are tomboyish, you're like, oh, this is like really pink, and like
I'll talk sports. I'm like I would say like my tomboyish side is like sports.
Okay.
And like go sport. Like I can talk sports. Like I was a college athlete, for crying out loud. Like I can talk sports.
Let us know. Like even if that's you, we still want you to at least listen to an episode.
And if we have no idea, because I don't follow basketball, I'll get Sebastian on.
Yeah.
It's basketball. I don't.
Or if you're
I know how the rules go. I just don't follow it. Like NBA, I could care less.
Yeah.
But and if you're college sport.
And if you're listening and you're like, I would love to say a thing or two. Come on, you and Victoria can have a great chat about it.
Yeah, like we want you guys
the whole time.
Community, like heck, if you guys have like something cool you want us to talk about or highlight, even you, we'll gladly have you on.
Yes. Oh, I would love to highlight people. Also, too, if you have a business, I really want to have some business
or an issue.
Women or an issue. That's what happened with Olivia. She reached out to me because she was friends with Caroline somehow, and she was like, I heard Caroline was on your podcast. Can I be on your podcast? I was like, yeah, girl. I mean, it took a couple months because of scheduling, but she was eventually on, and that is a really good episode. Like it's one of our most listened to episodes.
Yep.
But yeah, like seriously, just let us know. We want this to be for us, by us.
It's a community. Like we're creating, it's not just like the Victoria Mallory show.
Yeah.
It's a community.
Exactly. It is those other girls, the S, to say it's more than one person. Not girls. Yeah, girls. I wonder how that sounds with people's headphones.
God, I hope I didn't let your eardrum doing that. I mean, Mallory seems fine. She has headphones on, but so sorry.
But yeah, so like everyone listening, please share, rate, review, subscribe. Our next episode, we're gonna have more episodes and we'll have more topics, and we're back to normal now. We're back to our normal schedule.
What our weekly TCAP?
Yeah, at least 2 episodes a week. Sometimes there might be 3, but we'll kind of stick with at least 2, sometimes 3. And yeah, you guys, thanks for being with us this whole time. And honestly, thank you to everyone who has stuck with us from the first episode. A lot has changed since then, from production value to lovely co-hosts to topics, I feel like, to our style, the podcast cover, the style of the shows have changed. Victoria really helps with, and let me give you a praise really quick. I like our weekly TCAPs are really good. I love the idea you had, because like before it was just like, let's scramble. Okay, let's talk about this. But there's so much order now. We have the TCAP, we have the article. We can talk about the article, and then we have our ad break, and then we have our highlight, and like that organization order is so Victoria, not me at all. I was just like, let's just talk.
This is where the analytical business mind comes in.
Exactly. So if anyone is ever doing anything like, oh, we should do like a Myers-Briggs, or we should do the one from She Factor, that quiz. And anyway, sorry. See, this is exactly what we were talking about earlier, just ideas. But if you are going to do a podcast with someone, like seriously, get someone who brain works a little bit differently than yours. If both of you are the
opposites attract.
Exactly. Like if I had someone exactly like me, this podcast would probably be a mess.
But also remember, they need to be talkative.
Yes, that too. But yeah, so all that to say, a lot's changed. So I really appreciate those of you who have stuck with me from the beginning. And now us stuck with us, even during that time where I was just asking random friends at like, maybe it was even you at one time.
You were going through like the Jeopardy co-host.
Yeah. Like
Jeopardy host. You were doing
no, it was Caroline. Caroline and I recorded our episode at like 6 a.m. one morning because we couldn't figure out a time. Maybe it was 5 a.m. even. Like I think super early.
We recorded before work one time.
Yeah. Like I mean, and I'm very much like tonight I was trying to go to the BIP thing, but I was like, no, this is more important. And honestly, it's gonna happen next week, so it's not like that big of a deal. But I mean, like,
I'll send you the morning toast recap.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm trying to socialize. Like, y'all, I'm trying to build a community of like people in real life. A lot of my friends that I'm really close to don't live with me in real life. They don't live near me in real life. So a lot of people I talk to are like through the phone.
Yeah.
And I can't keep living like that. This extroverted girl is not like, my loneliness is killing me, y'all. But I still believe. Did you get that reference?
I did.
Okay, but you didn't laugh. All right. Well, anyway, thanks everybody for listening. Please make sure you rate, review, subscribe. Also subscribe to YouTube, please. We want to do more on YouTube. Rumble.
Thank you.
and Rumble too. It's becoming more popular, hopefully, but I do think it's good to have our stuff archived there in case anything ever happened on YouTube. And then
good point.
I mean, that's where
you never know.
You never know. All right. So yeah, thanks guys. See you never, because you listen to us. So let's
see you sometime.
Maybe very true. We could do like a meetup or something.
Hear you Saturday.
Yeah. Or listen to us Saturday. Bye-bye.
Bye guys.